So imagine this, you're on a walk, it's a really nice day, and you come across a cute tiny little black cat. And now this cat just crossed the path you were about to walk on. So what are you gonna do? Do you think, I don't believe in that superstitious silliness, I'm just gonna keep walking? Or do you think to yourself, I really can't take the bad luck today, I'm gonna turn around? If you decide to turn around due to bad luck, you're engaging in something called magical thinking. Magical thinking is the belief that one's thoughts, feelings, or behaviors can influence greater outcomes in instances where they can't really. We have 3 factors of magical thinking. The first is the law of similarity. The law of similarity says that an action against a symbol will also affect what the symbol refers to. So there's a very famous curse of Macbeth, where theater actors will refuse to say the name Macbeth when they're in a theater, especially if they are going to put on a performance of that show. The idea is saying this name will affect a greater outcome of a performance, even though there's really no real proof that saying the name Macbeth will have anything to do with the outcome of the play. The second law is the law of contagion. This refers to the idea that the essence of an object can be passed on to another through contact. So there was a study done during the AIDS crisis where people were asked how they would feel if they were given a sweater that had been worn by a patient with AIDS. The sweater was completely clean and everybody was assured that AIDS could not be contracted by contact. But people still felt quite unpleasant and uncomfortable thinking about wearing this sweater. A similar study was done with if the sweater was labeled as Hitler's sweater. So it's not just illness contagion. The essence of bad that was connected to the sweater because it had been in contact with such an awful figure made people feel unpleasant. And our last are superstitious beliefs. Superstitious beliefs tie in both the law of similarity and the law of contagion and refer to the unsubstantiated belief in something that will result in a more ritualistic action. So if you believe that opening an umbrella under a roof will cause bad luck, you might knock on wood to counteract that bad luck. But why do we engage in these magical thinking, superstitious beliefs? Maybe me just talking about them now might trigger in your mind, this is kind of silly, but I do this too. About half of Americans say that they knock on wood, and around 1/3 of university students have a lucky ritual that they do before an exam. So why do we do this? So the psychologist Yura Kinen thought that this had to do with stress. What he did was during the Gulf War, he interviewed people who had lived in neighborhoods who were either hit by missiles and neighborhoods who had not been hit by missiles. And what Kinen found is that those living in the neighborhoods who had been hit by missiles experienced higher stress than those in the safer neighborhoods. Those experiencing higher stress also held more magical beliefs related to the war or just related to beliefs and magical beliefs in general than those who had not been hit by missiles. Kinen also measured something called tolerance of ambiguity. Tolerance of ambiguity, if you have a high tolerance, that means that you feel comfortable with uncertainty. Those who have a low tolerance of ambiguity do not enjoy uncertainty and don't like ambiguous situations. And what Kinen found is that people with a low tolerance for ambiguity and living in these high-stress situations experience the most magical beliefs. You might be thinking to yourself, okay, I'm the most stressed person I know, but I'm not superstitious at all. So a study was done a few years later where Kinen looked at how desire for control might impact a university student's tendency to knock on wood. So what he did was he took students either before an exam or just on a regular day and asked them some questions that might probe knocking on wood behavior, like, have you ever been in a fatal car accident? What Kinen found is that the university students that knocked on wood the most had a high desire for control, which meant that they really wanted to feel in control in otherwise uncontrollable situations. But what does this mean for you? If you are in a super stressed out state, you just really want to have a sense of control either before an exam, before a really big presentation, it's honestly quite beneficial to have maybe a lucky pen or a good luck charm like your mom's watch to give you this sense of safety, give you this sense of control in an otherwise scary world that we live in. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a magical day.